Did you know that the most powerful rulers in history were not always the ones with the largest armies? Some ruled through fear, some through law, some through religion, some through wealth, some through pure strategy. Power is not just about conquest, it is about control. Control over land, control over people, control over belief, control over time. Tonight, we are counting down the top 10 most powerful kings and queens in history, based not on popularity, but on real, measurable power. Size of empire, centralized authority, economic dominance, military reach, cultural and ideological control. As we move toward number 1, you'll see something clear. True power reshapes history long after the ruler is gone. Number 10, Queen Elizabeth I's England. Elizabeth ruled England during one of its most critical turning points. She inherited a fragile kingdom, religiously divided, economically weak, militarily threatened, yet under her reign, England defeated the Spanish Armada, expanded overseas influence, laid foundations for a global empire, stabilized Protestant rule. Elizabeth exercised power not through brute force, but through intelligence and balance. She controlled the nobility, religious factions, foreign diplomacy. Her authority was absolute, but subtle. She ruled for 45 years, transforming England from a vulnerable state into a rising world power. Number 9, King Louis XIV, France. Louis XIV was power made visible. He ruled France for 72 years, the longest reign in European history. Louis centralized all authority into himself. No parliament, no shared power. He famously declared, under his rule, France became Europe's dominant power. The monarchy controlled nobility absolutely. Versailles became a symbol of royal dominance. Culture, fashion, and art revolved around the crown. Louis XIV controlled not just land, but identity. To be French was to belong to his system. His power shaped Europe for generations. Number 8, Queen Victoria, British Empire. Queen Victoria did not rule by command. She ruled by scale. At the height of her reign, the British Empire controlled nearly 1/4 of the world's population, about 1/4 of Earth's land surface. Britain dominated global trade, sea routes, finance, industry. Her authority extended across India, Africa, Asia, the Americas. Even though political systems evolved, the empire functioned under her symbolic power. Entire continents operated under one crown. Queen Victoria presided over the largest empire in human history. Number 7, Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon did not inherit power, he took it. Rising from a relatively minor Corsican family, Napoleon seized control of France during one of the most chaotic periods in European history. Once in power, he crowned himself emperor, dismantled old monarchies, redrew the map of Europe, imposed legal systems still used today. At the height of his dominance, Napoleon controlled or influenced most of continental Europe. His armies moved faster, fought smarter, and adapted quicker than any force before them. But Napoleon's true power was not just military. He created the Napoleonic Code, a unified legal framework that reshaped governance across Europe. Even after his defeat, his laws, institutions, and reforms outlived him. Napoleon proved something dangerous. A single individual with enough will and intelligence could bend entire continents. Number 6, Emperor Meiji. Emperor Meiji ruled Japan during the most radical transformation any civilization has ever experienced. When he came to power, Japan was feudal, isolated, technologically backward. By the end of his reign, Japan became industrialized, militarized, centralized, globally competitive. Under Meiji's authority, Feudal lords were abolished. A modern army and navy were created. Western science and industry were adopted. The emperor became the absolute symbol of the state. Meiji's power was unique. He did not conquer lands abroad first, he conquered time. He dragged an entire civilization from medieval isolation into modernity within a single generation. Japan's rise as a global power in the 20th century began directly under his rule. Number 5. Akbar the Great, Mughal Empire. Akbar the Great ruled one of the most powerful empires the world had ever seen, the Mughal Empire at its peak. Under Akbar, over 100 million people lived under his authority. Akbar's power was not just military, it was institutional. He transformed a conquering state into a stable, multi-ethnic, multi-religious empire that lasted for centuries. Unlike rulers who ruled through fear alone, Akbar ruled through structure, policy, and long-term governance. Number 4. Augustus Caesar. Augustus Caesar achieved something no other ruler had done before him. He ended a republic that had lasted over 400 years and replaced it with a permanent empire, without calling himself a king. Augustus controlled Rome through absolute authority while maintaining the illusion of shared governance. Under his rule, Rome entered the Pax Romana, civil wars ended, borders stabilized, trade expanded across Europe, Africa, and Asia. Law and infrastructure flourished. The Roman Empire under Augustus became the most powerful political system the ancient world had ever seen. He controlled the world's most professional army, vast economic resources, legal systems that still influence modern law. A unified imperial identity. Augustus did not just rule Rome. He created a political model that future empires would try and fail to replicate. Number 3. Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang did not merely rule China, he created it. Before his reign, China was fragmented into warring states, each with its own laws, currencies, scripts, and armies. Qin Shi Huang unified them all. Under his absolute authority, he standardized written language, unified weights and measures, created a single legal system, built national road networks, centralized taxation, dismantled feudal power. He ruled with uncompromising control. Books were burned, scholars were silenced, opposition was erased. But the result was unprecedented. A single unified Chinese state that has endured for more than 2 millennia. Even today, China's centralized governance model traces directly back to Qin Shi Huang. His power was not military alone. It was structural. He shaped how a civilization functions. Number 2. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great conquered the known world before the age of 30. In just 13 years, he created an empire stretching from Greece, Egypt, Persia, Central Asia, the Indus Valley. No ruler before or after him expanded territory so rapidly. But Alexander's power was not just conquest. He merged cultures. Greek language, science, philosophy, and governance spread across continents. Cities bearing his name became centers of learning and trade. The Hellenistic world reshaped mathematics, astronomy, medicine, politics. Long after his empire collapsed, his cultural influence remained. Alexander did not rule forever, but he permanently altered how civilizations interact. Number 1. Genghis Khan. At number 1 stands the most powerful ruler in human history, Genghis Khan. No empire has ever matched the scale, speed, and influence of the Mongol Empire. Under Genghis Khan and his successors, the largest contiguous land empire was created. Nearly 1/4 of the world's population lived under Mongol rule. Global trade routes were secured. Information traveled freely across continents. Technologies spread rapidly between civilizations. His authority reshaped warfare, diplomacy, law, commerce, global demographics. Genghis Khan enforced rule not through bloodline privilege, but merit and loyalty. He promoted generals by ability, not aristocracy. The world we live in today, connected, globalized, interlinked, was made possible in part by the networks his empire established. No ruler before or after him controlled more land, more people, or more of the known world at one time. Final reflection. Power is not crowns or titles. It is the ability to reshape reality. Some rulers ruled nations, some ruled continents, some ruled history itself. These kings and queens did not simply govern people. They rewrote how civilization works, and the echoes of their power are still shaping the world you live in today. If this journey through history changed how you see power and leadership, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe, because the next list dives even deeper into the forces that shape humanity.